Hello and welcome into today's preview. So this is the first of two and we are super excited, very excited about these two sales. Jeremy is co-piloting today. Jeremy, say hello.
Hello, all.
Okay, so we have two sales coming up, two great jewelry sales. This preview right now is for the sale on Monday, March 17th at noon. We are actually going to pop on for the ABC sale. That is the Amber, Bakelite, and Coffee sale. That is what this preview is for. And then our next sale will be, of course, Tuesday night at 7 p.m. That's the consignment and the estate. And then also both our claim style, buy it now, fixed prices. And we thank you very much. For registration, if you've already done it, you don't need to do it again unless you've changed some of your information. Go to BullyRunAntiques@gmail.com. I need your YouTube ID, your first and last name, your home address, your shipping address, your phone number, and your email address for invoice. Please register as soon as possible. That's the best way that we can do it. It's the foolproof way that has worked consistently over all of our sales, and we so thank you all for not only subscribing to Bully Run, but also registering for our sales. Jeremy, can you think of anything else with that?
No, I think that hits it.
Okay, great. And we're still not doing international just yet, but we'll let you know when we are. So there we go. BullyRunAntiques@gmail.com. And there's your information. Take a screenshot of that. And maybe I will bring that back at the end of the video if I can remember to do so. So these were the consignment pieces that are all amber. And interestingly enough, we had the idea to do Bakelite and amber together. And then I thought, let's do an ABC. And that's amber, Bakelite, and coffee. This is 26 inches long. I'd like to give at least a few measurements so you know how large these pieces are. That's just natural amber nuggets in that kind of cognac or orange color. Very cool because there are a lot of natural inclusions. And most of these have the screw style clasp. So there is the clasp that unscrews and then screws down, but really large scale. But since it's amber, it's very lightweight and very wearable. So there's that one. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum that we normally don't see are delicate amber beads. And so this is a double strand with a sterling silver clasp. Look at the color of these. They go more of like a yellow orange. And what I liked about them is they're much smaller scale and more delicate. So we've got amber for both different kind of people that are more conservative with their outfits and kind of more artistic, larger scale statement pieces. So that's a double strand, very beautiful. And that one for a measurement, just so you know, is approximately 18 inches around the neck. We don't do drops because that's not necessarily an accurate way of doing it. This one here, let me move that one. And Jeremy, thanks for helping me off camera.
Sure.
Get those back into their bags because now everything is ready to go for the sale. Everything's weighed and measured. This is 18 inches and then technically the drop, which is 3 inches. So it's 18 inches around the neck and then the drop is 3 inches. So that is technically the drop of a necklace, 3 inches, but that's 18 inches around the neck. If you say the drop is 18 inches, that's incorrect because, then it drops down the necklace, the neck 18 inches, very confusing. So that's 18 inches around the neck. And what I loved about this is that bright punch of turquoise. So once again, you can wear this with amber and turquoise at the same time. And who does not love to combine orange and blue and yellow and blue? Could you imagine if you paired that with a green turquoise beaded necklace and then a green turquoise cuff with an amber ring? You'd have all the color spectrums in that kind of warm and cool color combination covered. Absolutely magnificent. And I like how lightweight this is with that toggle style clasp. Very cool. Not an in-between. And I like how airy that is. Very lightweight, very summertime, and the perfect time of year for this sale. So we've got this. This is amber and turquoise. It is a double strand. It is finished like J. King or Mines Finds, which it probably is. Yeah, it's signed DTR or DRT, which is Desert Rose Trading. And my mom even brought up to me, she goes, why do people say DTR? And I go, I don't know, because it's actually DRT, Desert Rose Trading. So there you go. And that's just sterling silver, lobster claw. But look at the size of these beads. And that is like a greenish, kind of a greenish gray turquoise, and then a mottled yellow and cognac amber natural nuggets, of course, on both 18 inches and 20 inches down the strands. So very wearable and not very heavy. Very, very cool. Jeremy really liked this one the most out of them. He said that that one was the coolest. And we'll get into this one next. This is interesting because the way the beads are spaced. And I've seen a necklace similar to this in the kind of lei style from Hawaii with like shell beads. I have never seen it in amber. I've never seen this kind of beaded chain, if you will, down into this kind of clustered design of these almost like little spikes that came off of the central beaded chain. Very unusual for amber. And look at the color of that one. So we said absolutely yes. Screw style clasp again. That one I would say approximately, I would guess about 20 inches. That one's would go around the neck and be about an 18, just so you know, on that one. So if you love that, that is going to be on Monday at noon. And we're very excited because normally we don't get an opportunity very often to do 2 sales in a week, but we thought, you know, we're going to take a break coming up soon, and we're going to, you know, do a couple vacation days away. Maybe we'll take a week off or 2 weeks off from doing sales. So we figured, you know, let's kind of catch up before we get behind. And with this consignment, I always want to sell consignments very quickly. I don't like to wait very long. This one's about 14 inches around the neck, and the largest nugget at the front is about 1 3/4 inches. Very lightweight and very unusual to have those 3 kind of slabs cut from amber and then those nugget beads that go up. That's definitely more vintage, lightweight again, and only 2 more. This one is just over the head, those raw kind of cut amber nuggets. And again, I stand by all of these as genuine amber. I did not see any copal. I don't like to deal in copal. It's slightly too new for my liking. I always go with genuine amber. And I can do a video on amber and copal, or amber versus copal. That could be a video coming up because many people are going to ask, well, what is copal? Well, we'll get into that in coming videos. This really isn't an educational channel. I did not get a measurement on that, so just come to the sale and we'll get you a measurement on that one. And this one's very interesting. I like the way that these are cut in kind of slices of amber, and then they lay down so beautifully, and that does graduate very gracefully. So look at that, how that's cut. And I've seen a lot of amber beaded necklaces. I've never seen one like this in my whole time of doing this. And this is shorter. That seems like about a 15-inch or 16-inch. That is going to be 15. So 15 inches, and that's just experience in the business, knowing sizes before I even measure them. And then interestingly enough, out of my collection, that was the consignment amber. And out of my collection, I pulled these Bakelite cherry amber beads. And a lot of people sell these as cherry amber, and they're not. You'll notice that I said cherry amber Bakelite. So these are actually Bakelite. And the Bakelite is a phenolic resin, and these are faceted, so beautifully done. And look at that cherry color. Everybody loves these. And this is a very long strand. I did restring this years ago. I put this on tiger tail and that steel cable, and I put a sterling silver finding on it. So let's take a look at the length of this one. Very long, 28 inches long. 28 inches long, and that is just absolutely gorgeous and catches the light so beautifully. And then for the people that don't like dazzle and sparkle, I decided to pull another one of my Bakelite beaded necklaces. So this is Bakelite made to look like amber. This is not amber. Other people would sell it as amber because of the screw style clasp, because of the color of the beads, and that slight variation in the color of the beads, but they would sell that as amber. It's not. This is actually Bakelite. Do you see the polish on it? Look at how brightly polished that is. for Bakelite. So there you go. That's part of the Bakelite collection. And then I wanted to do a whole bunch of Bakelite bangles. I'm selling some single and I'm selling them in groupings. And this is one that will go single. It's that mottled yellow and orange, but look how great that would be with the Bakelite I showed earlier. So I tried to pair things together to come up with some matched pairs or mated pairs. And then I went on the opposite spectrum and I wanted to pull up some cast acrylics and cast resins that would be beautiful with Bakelite and would be beautiful with amber. Look at this mirror inset resin bracelet. And this is a designer piece. Let me go in on that so you can do all of your research. There you go. I did not look this one up. I think one time I had a bracelet like this, and I think I sold it for like 140. I think that's what I sold the last one for. Look at the way that is constructed with those mirrors, very large, almost diamond jewels. And then each one really pushes the light. Very heavy cast acrylic or cast resin. Very cool. Absolutely wonderful. And then for the people that love color, I decided to pull a Sobril bracelet. So if you look up Sobril, you will see these. This is one of the earlier ones. And I like that this was spaced with the clear, almost lucite, but that's still resin. And then look at that gold foil and then the sheen of the layers that grew together. Wonderful for Sobril. And I was very specific in the Sobril bracelets that I would deal in. And then this one is vintage 1950s. And likely by Weiss. It is not signed. Really nice clamper style bracelet in thermoplastic. People will sell these as Bakelite. That is not Bakelite. It's thermoplastic, and that is a hinge bracelet. This is a very small wrist size. I think it's about a 5, maybe a 5 1/4, but it's very small. And those are great rhinestones, completely inset. You'll know everyone's going, oh, crazy over this. Normally they're half the width. Normally they're about 3/4 of an inch or an inch. This is way over an inch wide. So very lovely, great stones. That's coming to the sale. And then I wanted to bring on at least a couple Bakelite brooches to round out the sale. This horse is out of my Bakelite collection. I have it times 3. So I thought I could at least let one go in the same color combination. Glass eye, carved bridle, and then the studs go down the mane, and then absolutely beautiful finish on that very rich, very beautiful amber colored Bakelite. Wonderful, absolutely all original. And then this one, I wanted to bring on a couple different color themes as well. Some mottled bluish green into like a yellow, highly marbleized surface. Very wide bangle on that one. And for the people that couldn't get bangles on, I recently bought this and decided I have a lot of people that can't get the Bakelite bracelets on the rigid bangles. So this is a hinged clamper. So that has the little clamp style. The clamper on this is slightly loose. It's not too bad. It doesn't really chatter when you wear it, but it would be for a smaller size wrist, just so that your wrist doesn't push this open the whole time you wear it. That's all. Just a great recommendation for anyone looking at clampers. Just make sure they fit right so that they don't fall off while you wear them. I love the under carving and then that massive, large faceted Bakelite piece in that kind of mottled, I guess, amber or tortoise. Absolutely beautiful. And Jeremy, thanks again for helping. I really do appreciate it. A rigid bangle, but very unusual. It tapers towards the top and gets thicker towards the bottom. There's the profile at the bottom. There's the profile at the top. See how it's like cone-shaped and then deeply carved with those tropical leaves. Very unusual for a Bakelite bangle. And what I'd love to do with this is, I don't have one out on the table, but I'd love to sell a wider one, maybe in like carved yellow, that's like just a wide carved yellow. Could you imagine doing a stack of those? Almost like a totem pole in a way, but beautifully carved. Very unusual for black Bakelite. A note to everybody, black Bakelite does not test with Simichrome or 409. You know by its weight, you know by its density, no seams, and you always can tell in the carving that that is a 1940s, 1950s carved Bakelite bracelet. Black will not test. Remember that. So this, I decided to bring on another horse-themed brooch. I have this one in my collection, and I thought I don't need the duplicate anymore. I can let it go. For years, I said I wouldn't sell these, but now it's okay. All original pinback. The little boots, the horseshoe dangle, and then that racing horse head. Absolutely cool. And look at the little detail on those boots. When people say, why do you love Bakelite? Look how well crafted it is. Look at the color and the way that this was made. Such whimsy, very cool, and very wearable today. Pin that on a jacket and you never have to take it off. But original glass eye, original gold paint. I was a stickler for condition on my Bakelite. This one is the little Scotty dog brooch. I did this in one of the videos on my channel. I did clean up the pin back, and this was in like a sort box that I had. Initially, I thought his leg was broken here. It's not. That's the way this was made. It's all original. That was not broken. And look how adorable the face is with that little the carved bow, the little glass eye. I really loved that for a little Scotty dog brooch. And that's just fun. That's all. Fun. This one is red and kind of a yellow mottled, so it's very bright red. And I thought, let's sell this one separate because that's easy to stack as well. We're going to make these very affordable because I really do, like most sales, want to sell out. I bent the rules with this one. This is not Bakelite, but most certainly it's just too cold to leave out of the sale because the springtime color, that kind of outer space theme, and then faux carved down in with that resin or acrylic. Very cool. Could be artisan made. Not exactly sure who produced this, but I thought for springtime, kind of Easter I died in a way, don't you think? And I thought, yeah, we're bringing that on. That's just too cool, so I couldn't leave it out. Not Bakelite, but definitely bending the rules a little bit. Again, this one is not Bakelite, but this set was $275 back in the day. Now, this is going to take a very special buyer because the size is going to be very specific. This is a very small neck size for the ring. Back in the day, it was $275, and it's signed right down on here. It's artisan and designer signed right there. Take a screenshot of that and do some research. I never looked this one up because I didn't mind who the designer was. It didn't change it for me in value. I just thought it was so unusual and so like late 60s, early 70s, that real mod kind of look, the little snap clasp that snaps down in. So this rigid collar, I think it's like a 15-inch neck and then that large kind of slice at the front inset in brass or gold-plated brass, I should say, and then the matching bracelet. Now, remember, I think this is about, let's get a quick measurement. That's about 2.5 inches. Yep, 2.5 inches is the usual size of these, so that'll fit a usual size bracelet or usual size wrist. And then this bracelet is a little top heavy, so it always kind of wants to, this medallion kind of wants to go to the back, so you would have to push it up a little bit and keep it up on your wrist just a little bit. So remember that on this set because that does want to spin because of the weight of that. Look at how that plastic is laminated. Again, not Bakelite, but I thought for plastics, it had to come, and also to have a match set. Very unusual, very cool, very sellable. And then I wanted to do, like I said, a couple stacks, and I might leave this stack together, but these are all the faceted Bakelite bangles. These are getting harder and harder to find, and especially kind of putting a color story together of those earth tones. So brown, kind of a caramel color, this almost like mustard yellow, kind of a goldenrod, if you will, and then this wonderful faceted, more forest green or olive green, and then again, a different medium colored, more brownish mustard color. I really liked these because faceted Bakelite has always made me very happy because it does push and pull the light as you wear it. And I've always thought that that was just a great stack of 4. Could you wear 2 together? Sure. Could you wear those 2 together or mix and match and not wear all 4? Sure. Or wear 3 together. Look at that as a trio. Or you could switch it up and do this as a trio. So I always try and like balance the dark tones with the light tones. That's the way I've always worn my Bakelite. So there you go for a set of 4. Thank you, Jeremy. And then this one This one is lacquer, and everybody sells this for end of the day Bakelite. They say this is end of the day Bakelite, or this is, camo Bakelite. That's not what this is at all. This is, and you could say it two different ways. It's Urshi or Yushi. There's two different ways to pronounce it, and it's a lacquer. Now, it does test positive for Bakelite. I'm not here for like a lecture series on this, but this is a very rare lacquer, and it's Japanese, and the reason why it tests positive for Bakelite is it's made of the sumac tree sap, and that has a natural phenolic or phenolic resin in it, and that's what tests positive for Bakelite. So these are not Bakelite. They are way more rare than any sort of Bakelite, but with that kind of wooden graining on that and that color combination, it goes beautifully with Bakelite. So that as an Urshi or Yushi lacquer bangle, absolutely wonderful. I've always loved those. I have a whole stack of those in my collection that I refuse to sell. That's the first I'm willing to sell out of my collection, and we'll see how it goes. If it goes okay, I'll bring on some more. This one is Sun-Kissed Orange Bakelite, slightly marbleized with yellow. That's going to sell by itself. And then here's the other one I was looking for. Is that the last, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Just that one too? So I tied these together because I like them in this order. You don't have to keep them in this order. You don't have to wear all 5 together. But fashionably, that's the way I would do it. So we've got that kind of, again, deep kind of burnt orange color, the goldenrod yellow, the cherry lipstick red. We've got this true sun-kissed orange. We've got this heavily marbled and heavily kind of mottled green with like the celery green. I've always loved these 5 together, so I'm selling all 5 together as one lot. Thank you, Jeremy. And those again are probably from like the later 50s. This one, I kept it because this version is very difficult to find. You will find it from time to time in other color variations, but this was one of my favorites. And this is the spinach green, and this is the asymmetrical ribbon or bow tie hinged bangle bracelet. There is a problem with this. So where they applied this top band portion, they unfortunately cracked the Bakelite, and there is an early repair through there. You do not see that when it's worn. See how you do not see the crack? That was definitely restored very early on, and that crack did go all the way through. But look at the marbleized green, and then that kind of electric halo from the oxidation and patina across the surface. The spring on this is so strong and so wonderful. And I will tell you this much. I have a size 6-inch wrist, and if this fit, if that went a little bit closer, I would have never considered selling this. But unfortunately, this size hinge bracelet does not fit me. So that's the only reason I'm deciding to sell it, is because it doesn't fit. But that would fit up to let me tell you, that would be about a 6.5-inch wrist. So that would be about a 6.5-inch wrist, maybe down to a 6-inch wrist, but I wouldn't go much smaller than a 6-inch wrist, just because I wouldn't want it to like slip off over your hand. Wonderful, wonderful laminated Bakelite, late 1940s, early 1950s, in really wonderful condition. And watch the age of your Bakelite pieces. I have seen so many fakes in the marketplace, and I refuse to deal in them. I won't do it, and I will call it out every time I see it. I think that concludes the preview. Jeremy, and then Jeremy's, we'll have to talk about Jeremy's coffee too. I think, did you say you're going to just post it? Would you just post it in the description or something?
I'll post it in the comments.
Okay,
I
so
have some other news that's going to be released.
Oh, great. He has other news to release, but he'll post it in the description of the video. So rather than in the comment section that you all won't see, because if other people comment, then it gets buried, he'll put it in the description. So you'll have to go under this, and he'll put it in the description of the video where he lists the dates and times. He'll put in a description of maybe some of the coffees he's going to feature. And then you all know from the past sales, his coffee sells out almost every time. And then he just says, during the sale, ground or whole. So you'll put like the number of the coffee in once he numbers them. I think you're going to bring 4 or maybe 3. Yeah. He'll figure it out, but he wants to make sure that it's, of course, super fresh like always. and he so appreciates the orders. So that's going to be Monday, March 17th. So from the airing of this video, hopefully this goes up Saturday. Fingers crossed this goes up Saturday. And then it'll air in 2 days from the airing of this preview. And the sale is again Monday, March 17th at noon. And that is the Amber Bakelite and Coffee sale. We might add a little bit more Bakelite, but you kind of get the feeling for what we're going to have. Anything else, Jeremy?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, so Jeremy says we're good. And again, thank you all for registering. We do not allow registrations during the sales. It's just too confusing. And we do appreciate all of you for registering as soon as possible. I think that calls it. High five.
Yeah.
Yeah. High five. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And then I guess stay tuned to tomorrow's preview video because that will be for the sale on Tuesday, March 18th. So we will look forward to seeing you on Monday at noon. Thank you all so much for joining in. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And Jeremy, just go ahead and take it away and tell them we love you.
We love you because we do.
Jeremy's falling asleep. Bye.